Welcome back to the shop, guys. Today we are upgrading a little bit the sound system on Grandma. So basically what we're doing with Grandma is, for years we've had a single subwoofer, and we're trying to upgrade this now to a dual subwoofer system with a dual box and make this thing sound a little bit better than it did before. If you remember the previous video that we did on a subwoofer and an amp install, I'm gonna link that right up here somewhere so you guys can go back and take a look. That's one of the biggest videos on my channel. When you go there and you see that it doesn't have very many views, well, it's still big for me. I'm just a small channel, and with you guys watching and viewing all the stuff that I'm doing, it certainly helps out. So let's take a look what we got now, and we'll go over and take a look at the new box and see that setup. So what we installed the first time when we did this was we had a sub amp, which is coincidentally conked out since we replaced it with this Pioneer. And this is a truck box. You can see it's kind of slender and tall. And this is what we installed in the car. It's laying on its back. It's kind of in the way of everything a little bit. And there's not really any it's not really secured. So we used to use the jack. We'd crank it out to keep it from sliding around. So what we're trying to do is trying to clean up the trunk space a little bit, and by doing that we're going to put, yes, a bigger box, because we're going with two subwoofers this time instead of just one. Give it a little more punch. My wife is a huge 90s rock, grunge rock stuff. I am not totally into that, but she also likes the dubstep with that hard-hitting bass. And so what we are going to do with that is we're going to add a second subwoofer into this box. Let's take a look. Now this is a dual 10-inch vented, and it's shared vented sub box, and it's made by a company called BB Box USA. I got this on Amazon. I will leave a link down in the description box below if you guys are inclined to buy this box. Use that link because that is from my Amazon affiliate, and I earn a little bit from when you guys make these purchases. And you're not paying any more for it. So go over there and check that out. And this is the second subwoofer that we're putting into it. So we've got a Kenwood one here. There's currently a Memphis sub over there. We will make sure that they are compatible. So let's get this thing out of the box and tear into it, see what it looks like, and see what we're gonna need for hardware to make it work. So here's the box. We've got a shared vented tube kind of right down the middle. And we've also got the nice crisp clean cuts, and this is a 1-inch MDF. And one thing I did notice, even though this box is made by a company called bbbox-usa.com, check this out. Made in Chinois. Anyways, one thing that we do have is we've got some external plugins for each speaker to plug into, which means we're gonna need a little bit more speaker wire. So we're gonna have to run speaker wire from the plug here over to this one and the amp, as well as a couple of speaker wire lengths to go from the inside plug to the speaker. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the old setup out of the car and get that speaker out of that box, as well as this Kenwood. We're going to get them switched over. As long as they're both 4 ohm subs, we should be fine to be able to bridge those on that amp. So let's get started. So we've got these things all installed into the box. Now it's time to get it into the trunk of the car, and I'm pretty sure we just decreased the payload capacity of this Grand Marquis because this box here, she's pretty chunky. I bet you she's pretty close to an additional 50 pounds, just the box and the 2 subs by itself, maybe more. I'm gonna go back there, get this thing installed in the trunk, and see if we can't get the amp screwed down and mounted to it. So I'm gonna do that and we'll test her out. Oh yeah. Clean that mess out first. Let me do that. Because initially I only have one sub running, I only have one set of speaker wires coming out of the amplifier, which means now I've got to run two. So one to the Kenwood and one to the other one, which I think I called a Memphis. It's not, it's a DB sound. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get a piece of extra speaker wire cut up so that we can run it from here down to this side, and then we'll use this one to run over here. So no big deal. I'm just going to have to make a different connection back here on the amp. So now that we've got everything connected, we're going to go turn the stereo on, make sure that everything's working the way it should, and then we can kind of button everything up. So honey, is that Mama approved?
That's Mama approved.
There we go. So we got this thing all installed. It's time to button things up and call it a night. So now all we've got to do is get the amplifier mounted to the box and finally decide which way we want to angle this sub box. We got the subs kind of pointing backwards, which is where most of the air movement's going to go. We could flip it around and point it up, but the spare tire's in the way. We still want to be able to optimize this trunk space as much as we can for things like groceries and all that stuff. This is our main source of transportation. So we'll play around with some of it. We'll run it like this for a while, make sure that Mama's happy with that. We'll try some different settings. We only have the channel, we only have 2 channels on this amp, and we're running them in a 2-channel. So you can bridge it. By bridging it puts a little bit more power out to each speaker. But we're gonna try it this way for a while first, see how it sounds. And like I said, we'll play around with it. In the meantime, if you guys have not yet, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to Olde Carr Guy, because we've got all kinds of Panther platform stuff going on. We're doing an engine swap on a Yugo, and we've got all kinds of great stuff coming your way. Don't forget to hit the first link in the description box down below, which is my merch site. Get yourself some Olde Carr Guy merch just like this Dale the Truck shirt. If you don't know who Dale the Truck is, that is my 1977 Chevy C10. We've got lots of videos on those and lots coming up. So guys, stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. Love you, God bless. Let's do it again in the next video.